President Ruto snubs and fails to greet Rigathi Gachagua during the requiem mass of the late Ol Kalou MP. Now watch this video closely. A video currently making rounds online has left many Kenyans stunned. In the clip, William Ruto is seen making his way along the front row, greeting leaders and dignitaries who had gathered to honor the late David Njuguna Kiaraho. Now the setting is calm, respectful, and in line with the seriousness of the occasion. But then comes the moment that has everyone talking as he moves down the line, shaking hands and acknowledging those seated. He appears to completely skip past Rigathi Gachagua. Now that single moment, brief, silent, but very visible, has now sparked widespread debate, speculation, and growing concern about the deepening rift between the two leaders. Now from a distance, it might look like a simple oversight, but in the world of politics, especially Kenyan politics, where gestures carry weight, nothing is ever that simple. Now every move, every handshake, every glance is closely watched and is often interpreted as a signal, and in this case, the absence of a greeting has spoken louder than words ever could. Now, the requiem mass itself had already drawn significant attention even before this moment. The late Ol Kalou MP, David Njuguna Kiaraho, was a respected figure, and his send-off attracted leaders from across the political divide. The presence of both President Ruto and Gachagua in the same venue had already set the stage for a potentially delicate situation. Now, there had been murmurs even before the event began. Whispers circulating among political observers suggested that tension between the two were far from over. Once close allies, their relationship has dramatically shifted over time. Gachagua, who once stood firmly beside Ruto as a trusted confidant and deputy president, now finds himself on the opposite side of the political spectrum. Now his impeachment marked a turning point. What followed was a complete political realignment, with Gachagua stepping into the opposition and eventually forming his own political outfit. Now since then, interaction between the two have been rare, and when they do happen, they're often marked by visible tension. So when both leaders showed up at the same requiem mass, many people were already watching closely. Now the atmosphere at the venue was a mix of grief and anticipation. Mourners had gathered to pay their respect, but there was also an undeniable sense that something more could unfold. The front row, where top leaders were seated, became the focal point of attention as President Ruto arrived and began greeting those present. Cameras followed his every move. It was a routine gesture, one that signals unity and respect, especially during such event. He greeted several leaders seated at the front, exchanging pleasantries and maintaining the decorum expected of the head of state. But when he reached the spot where Gachagua was seated, something changed. Now, instead of extending a hand or even acknowledging his presence, Ruto moved on. No greetings, no eye contact that could be clearly seen, just a continuation down the line as if nothing unusual had just happened. Yet everything about that moment felt unusual. It did not take long for the clip to start circulating online. Within minutes, it was being shared across social media platforms, with users replaying the moment over and over, trying to understand exactly what had happened. Reactions came in fast. For many, the incident confirmed what they had long suspected, that the fallout between Ruto and Gachagua runs deeper than publicly acknowledged. The lack of a greeting was seen not just as a personal snub, but as a public display of political distance. No others tried to interpret it differently, suggesting it could have been an intentional oversight in a crowded and emotionally charged environment. But even among those voices, there was an acknowledgement that such moments are rarely taken at face value, especially given the history between the two, and that history matters. There was a time when Rigathi Gachagua was one of William Ruto's closest allies. He played a key role in political mobilization and was even considered a loyal lieutenant. Now, their partnership was seen as strong and strategic, helping shape the political landscape in significant ways. But things change. The impeachment of Gachagua did more than just remove him from office. It altered the dynamics of power and loyalty, pushing him into a new political path. His move to the opposition and the formation of his own party signaled a clear break from his past alignment with Ruto. Now, since then, the two have rarely been seen engaging directly, and when they do appear in the same space, the tension is often hard to ignore. This is why this latest incident carries so much weight. It is not just about a missed handshake. It is about what that moment represents in the broader context of Kenyan politics. It raises questions about reconciliation, rivalry, and the future of political alliances. Now, as the requiem mass continued, efforts were made to keep the focus on honoring the late MP. Tributes highlighted his contribution, his leadership, and the impact he had on his constituents. But despite these heartfelt moments, the earlier incident lingered in conversation both inside and outside the venue. The event itself had already been described as politically charged, and this moment only added to the characterization. Now, the presence of leaders from opposing sides meant that every action was being closely watched. Now, adding to the tension are ongoing rumors that Gachagua may not be given a chance to speak during the burial. These claims, while not officially confirmed, have been circulating widely and have only intensified interest in how the situation will unfold. If true, it would mark another significant moment, potentially reinforcing perception of political exclusion. Now, if not, it could provide an opportunity to ease tension, though even that remains uncertain. For now, the focus shifts to the burial itself. Expectations are high, and so is the level of scrutiny, with both leaders expected to remain in attendance. Many are watching closely to see whether there will be any further interaction or lack thereof. Now, will there be an effort to bridge the visible gap, even symbolically, or will the distance between them continue to play out in the subtle but telling ways? Now, the situation remains fluid, and as the days progress, more moments could emerge that shape the narrative even further. For the family of the late David Njuguna Kiaraho, this added layer of the political drama is an unfortunate distraction during a time of mourning. What should be a period of remembrance has in many ways been overshadowed by the dynamics of national leadership. Still, this is the reality of high-profile events where politics and public life intersect. At the center of it all is that now viral clip, a few seconds of footage that has sparked nationwide conversation. It serves as a reminder of how powerful non-verbal communication can be, especially among leaders whose every move is under constant scrutiny. Now, as Kenyans continue to watch, analyze, and debate, one thing is certain: this story is far from over. The burial promises to be more than just a final farewell. It is shaping up to be another chapter in an unfolding political narrative, one where every gesture, every decision, and every moment will be closely observed. And for now, all eyes remain on William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua, waiting to see what happened next. Guys, if you like this video, make sure to subscribe, like and comment down below. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you get every new video once I upload.